call. This is a 1997 Mitsubishi Verada, Magna, whatever you want to call it. I actually picked this car up as a trade-in for my previous one. The mod list is really long. Get to that in a minute. Short answer is I actually got it for free, essentially. Well, if you trade a car for it, if you like. I traded my 2006 Mitsubishi 380 BRX. When I got the car, all that was done to it was the actual engine swap itself, and the actual manual swap was already done. The car it didn't feel right when I got it. Sluggish, rattled a lot. Small things that could be fixed by anybody. Because it's my first manual car as well. That was a bit of a change because I got my full license prior only like a few weeks ago, and I was like, okay, well, I got a manual car now. I'm gonna have to reteach myself how to drive again. The interior is a bit smelled a bit. Okay, I've got enough parts. I'll pull the carpet out. I'll pull everything out. Redo it right. Redo the wiring. The wiring is a bit strange. Had an aftermarket alarm at the time. So within the first 3 days, I had the entire interior out, just short of the dash, all the carpet, all the sound deadening out, front to back. Started from scratch, cleaned everything out, through and retightened every single bolt and every single screw all the way along. The car originally had a set of black leather in it with a grey carpet. Didn't like that. Didn't suit what I wanted to do. So I ordered a set of rally out seats from Perth to Victoria. Freight, good lesson learned. The freight costs more than the bloody parts do. It had more or less the same suspension in it. It's not the adjustable stuff. Super low springs on the front. Super low stuff on low on the rears. I've owned the car now for 3 years and a couple of months and change. The first year was literally just getting it up to my standard, which is fairly high, so tinkering stuff, cleaning stuff, painting stuff. If I didn't like it, I changed it, and if I did like it, eventually I didn't like it, I changed it anyway. So it's been a long, arduous, difficult road to get it to where it is today, where it's pretty much 100%, give or take 5%.
Magna that I reviewed recently, but this is a manual paired 380, which is exactly what you want. Oh my god, this is insane. Oh my god.
So if I never heard from again, it means Rex has locked me off the side of a mountain.
Pretty much.
And stolen the car.
Bit of wheel spin there, I felt. Just on the corner, I think it was a bit of torque steer just there.
Veradas in this specification in the XI trim, all of them come with 3.5 litre 6G74 V6s, single overhead cam, all that kind of fun stuff. Not rated very highly from the factory, but good enough to be punt your grandmother around. The earlier models have a mixture of 4 and 5 speeds in it. This one was swapped over from 4-speed to a 5-speed manual from a TJ Magna originally, with a 380 flywheel and clutch, make it a bit snappier. That didn't last very long because I drove it around for that, and I still couldn't make it feel really nice that way. So halfway through my ownership, I heard about from Malcolm about the 380 5-speed gearbox. I managed to procure one of those relatively cheap with lowish Ks on it. Had that sent off to him and the car as well to be swapped. Surprisingly not that difficult, not that expensive. If you want it done by him, go to him. So much better. It completely changes the dynamic of how the manual feels. Wheels on this car are off a Evo 9, factory Enkeys, perfect fit, bolt straight on, nice and lightweight. Tyres are Michelin Pulse Sport 4s. Dude, get yourself a set. They're affordable, they're quiet as all hell, like you'll be able to drive home and whisper to your friend next to in the back, you know, like it's great. This is a USDM Honda Accord Type R front lip. Again, a little piece of plastic like that, it's about 300 bucks. We had a friend who was working at Mitsubishi at the time. Mitsubishi was finally getting rid of all their stock. It's every 10 years or something. Once after the model's finished, they carry parts for 10 years. That had obviously finished up in 2008 with the 380 being done, so they started selling off all their, or liquidating their stock as such. Where like a set of those tail lights would sell for $900 each, not a pair each. They're actually rather hard to find. They're a KW GTVI Verada tail light, factory tinted.
How much did you get them for?
50 bucks for the set. It's not bad.
Wait.
Exhaust-wise, from the head to the back, the head to the back is a set of Wildcat extractors. The exhaust itself is 2.5 inch all the way back from the headers, nice and bassy, doesn't rattle or drone. Surprisingly, it doesn't drone at all. But the lowest point of the Longtube Headers is the actual pipe that comes up to the front. It's in a cylinder like that, and eventually it's become like that. It's nice and smooth on the bottom, you know, nice and shaved for extra weight reduction. Power delivery is a squillion torques from bugger all RPM all the way to red line at 7200. After 3 years of mucking around with it and blood, sweat, tears and various other fluids, both on the ground and out of me and whatever else, and it's almost precisely where I want it for now, because I keep changing what I want it to be, and you know, some days it's a track car, other days it's a daily driver, and on the other days it's a cruiser. So it's kind of got to be a Swiss Army knife. It has to be able to do everything, and that's exactly what it can do. People don't expect these cars to rock up at their performance shops. You know, like you have to deal with a lot of prejudice, a lot of contempt. Oh, you've got a Magna, mate. You know, that's not. You know, did you borrow it from your grandmother? Is that what it is? See you later. You know, it's a lot of fun chasing stuff and trying to see if they can get away from you. That's the good thing about the days going up to Lake Mountain, is there's such a wide variety of stuff that comes along that you can sort of pick your target if you like. Okay, I see that there's an Evo 7 there, I'll see how I can take on. And, you know, it just kind of depends down to the driver behind the wheel, but I remember a particular one where we were doing a tech sport Australia Day cruise at Lake Mountain, so there's 50 Evos coming off. Yeah, I picked a bog stock Evo 9 to follow. And surprisingly, the guy couldn't get away from me. It may have been driver talent, I don't know, but literally, like, you know, you can pitch yourself into a corner nicely and just keep dialing in the throttle a little bit, and the guys can't get away. It's quite staggering, actually. And the guy certainly seeked me out later. He's like, "What do you got in this thing?" I couldn't get away from it. It's just, it boggles my mind along with everyone else's. That's the beauty of it. No one expects it, and that's what makes it different and unique. In conclusion, after Rex has made wonderful driving, it's a fun car. It really is, but I can't do it alone. I'd love to do some shout outs and some names for people who helped me along the way. Thank you to Mitsubishi and Brendan Carter in particular for actually starting and building the car in the first place. I've simply just carried the torch for what he made. Special shout out to Stephen Wickers for looking after me with it, coming and helping me with it, you know, answering my calls when I'm on the side of the road at ridiculous times of the night, and doing the car justice. You know, he ported the Throttlebody, ported the body intakes, keeps it running nicely when I'm too much of a spanner to build a spanner. Big thank you also to the Magna community in general for just taking a car that no one likes, and thank you for actually taking the time to have some appreciation for this thing.
No worries.
And Magnas in general. Final note, you don't have to love all cars, love your own car. That's all that matters. See you later.